What it do? It's your favorite Texas boy, and we back with another video. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, comment, check out all the past content, everything about Puerto Rico. But we about to get right into it. This has been a big topic I've seen from the States to Puerto Rico. It's caused all type of banter and conversation, all types of explosion. I think it's great. Number one for American culture and Puerto Rican culture. Once it happens, I just have to explain it. But we're talking about Bad Bunny has been chosen to perform at the Super Bowl. Um, of course, Puerto Rico is super excited. The United States has had mixed reactions. So we're gonna kind of talk about that. I think this is a good learning moment. I think this is um, a moment for expansion that a lot of people may not realize yet. But let's just kind of get into it. So first, who is Bad Bunny? Right? Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican born and raised artist from, I believe, right here in Santurce. He's really probably one of the highest selling artists when it comes to Latin, Caribbean, what's the word, reggaeton type of music, mostly in Spanish, all Spanish, I'm sorry. He just released an album that's like at the top of every chart. It's like number one across the world, and all the global charts for like Apple and stuff like that, called Debir Tirar Más Fotos. I should have took more photos. And when I say, like, he's bigger than Beyonce and them out here. Like, a lot of people, and maybe people from the States don't really know that, um, because of the, I think, Spanish dialect, such a Spanish driven country. A lot of the American music doesn't make it down here. And what you notice is a lot of American artists don't do shows in Puerto Rico. I've been here a year and a half, and I think the only person that's done a show down here that I know of like big stature, is Travis Scott. I think he came. And I'm talking about American artists. You don't hear about very many American artists coming down to Puerto Rico because they just don't have the support down here due to the language barrier. So down here, Bad Bunny is the guy. I had my own experience. I've actually enjoyed his music for years and didn't know it, or didn't necessarily know who he was. You know, when you kind of download a song, when you hear it, you just put it in your playlist. When I not first visited Puerto Rico, but this was probably like my fourth visit before I ever moved here. I was out one night. This was my like 2021. I was here for my birthday. I came for like 7 days, 8 days, something like that. And I was out one night in La Placita at Club Tulum. You know, that's my first time out there. And they play this song. And I'm talking about the club just sings it word for word. I just had to record it because it made me feel so good. Of course, I don't have no idea what they saying. But it was just a moment, right? It was a moment where I'm like, this is peace, this is vibes, this is love, this is a jam. And so I started recording it, got back to the States, ran into the clip again, tried to figure out the song, Shazammed it, Bad Bunny, boom, boom, put it on the playlist, Yoga Uni. That's the name of the song, I believe, Yoga Uni. And I would jam this song all the time, but I never was like, I'm gonna like search for more. I don't even know what he's saying. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a song that I like. Sometimes there are songs that you just like that are in different languages that you just like. You know what I'm saying? A song that I've liked my entire life is a song by Les Nubians called Makeda, and it's in French. And never understood, still don't know what it says, but I love the song. And I love that song, Yoga Only. So again, he was big then. He was big then. Now we're close to where he is now. Like, he's out the galaxy right now. So I understand why they chose him. But so Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican born artist, gets a lot of love, stands up for his people out here. Very big about Puerto Rico, on Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican independence. A lot of good stuff about this guy, in a sense. So yeah, he's doing very much for the island. He just hosted a residency here, and then I think this is a big part of why they chose him because how successful this residency was. So he hosted a 3 month residency here, right? Um, and he brought in over probably $700 million to this island over these 3 months. Um, like people were flying in all over from all over the world for this guy. And so that kind of gets into the conversation of why Jay Z and them at the Super Bowl may have chosen Bad Bunny. Um, so let's kind of first start from the American aspect because I want it to be a dialect. I understand how the American artists will be like, or the American people will be like, well, why are we picking somebody in Spanish? The NFL is an American sport. There are mostly Americans who play in the NFL. It's a little different than the NBA. I mean, even the NBA has mostly Americans, but the NBA has a lot more, I would say, European or cultural players. I'm sorry, international players is what I'm looking for. But the NFL is an American sport. It's always been an American sport. They don't really travel or deal with much internationally as like other sports do. So that's like the one American sport that the states kind of holds to it because it's not as I guess international. I guess. Even though there is international support and stuff like that, but I'm talking about on a grand scale, in my opinion. Um, so normally there are American artists who speak English on the bill. Uh, this is the first artist who probably will be completely Spanish his entire set, unless he decides to speak English because he does speak English, um, and sing in English. He does his catalog is in Spanish. Uh, so I can understand why they would say, well, we're not gonna understand anything. How are we to enjoy the show? I get it. This is an opportunity, I would say, for you to kind of maybe brighten your or open your horizons or spread your boundaries to see if you like something different. Um, he puts on an amazing show. I didn't get to go to the residency, but a lot of people that I know did. I went to the activation, which was outside the concert, which you can see on my channel. You can see a video of that, a couple videos back, where they showed all the events that was going outside the concert. You can see all the people that he brought out. Like it's crazy. Um, but yeah, he's really a guy who attracts a lot of attention, right? Um, Internationally attracts a lot of attention. And that's just because of the things that he does as a philanthropist, how he stands up for people and things of that nature. But he also makes really, really good music. When you listen to the music, it flows well, vibes well, party, jump vibes. It's a lot. But I be rocking with him. But I think that it'll be good for the NFL in an expansion sense. Remember at the beginning of the conversation, I said that the NFL is not big internationally as some of the other sports, right? I think this is their attempt to try to get there. They do have a strong Hispanic community support in like the lower states of the United States or across the United States in general, but definitely the southern states in the United States. But I don't think that's enough for what they need and what they're trying to attain. These contracts, as y'all can see in the NFL, are getting extravagant, right? The money has to come from somewhere. So I think that this is a chance for the NFL to expand financially and culturally, globally, bringing in an artist that will reach people across the world, right? Not all of the artists, American artists, can reach people across the world. This guy has proven, not only on the charts but also with this residency, that he can bring people from across the world. When I say that, people from Europe, Australia, China, people from Spain, France, all these people were coming over to see his residency here. Of course, people were coming in, flooding in from the States. But we're talking about internationally. He brought in a lot of people internationally, and that's a big, big thing when you're trying to expand. And that's where I know that probably the NFL is lacking compared to other sports. Um, so I think it's a good chance to, you know, how can I say, bring together communities that may not necessarily, um, vibe, right? Right now, the U.S. and Puerto Rico have tensions, rightfully so. Colonialism, not really being treated like the states, but being a part of the states technically. I say this all the time. Puerto Rico is owned by the states, but it's not considered a part of the states. Like the highest seat here in government is the governor, which they just had a protest trying to get her out of the office there. I'll do a whole nother video on that. Um, but Puerto Ricans can't vote for the president. You know what I'm saying? So just starting there, right? This might be an opportunity for the Puerto Rican culture to be seen, for what's going on down here to be seen. They might start asking questions. Well, who is Bad Bunny? What does he represent? What's going on where he's from? What is he trying to say when he takes his money, his 400, 500, 600, 700 million that he brings into the island? How much of that goes to the island, or what does he pull out of his own pocket and do? They'll start asking questions, right? What is his interviews, or I think this is going to be a good opportunity for Puerto Rico to be seen in itself, um, and allow what's going on down here to possibly be addressed. Now, everything's, I'm sure, not going to be fixed because of a Super Bowl performance, right? But nobody even knows what's going on because they know nobody from down here. So I think this is a good opportunity for them to put a Puerto Rican born and bred and raised artist who can really speak to what's going on a grand scale in front of the world, to be able to speak the truth. I can probably bet that this show is going to show some of the history between the United States and Puerto Rico. I can almost guarantee it that in some fashion he's going to bring to light some of the things that need to be talked about, that are going down in the relations between the United States and Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So, the question is Bad Bunny good or bad for the Super Bowl? In my opinion, I think it is great for the Super Bowl. I do understand why Americans, mainly English speakers, would kind of feel away a little bit or not be so sure about it, and voice their opinion. But, I think after they get to sit and watch what happens, they'll feel differently. Some people you can't sway. It is what it is. But there are those who are open-minded or can be impressed, are willing to listen or willing to watch and learn. So we take that and we bank on that. Again, I can promise it's going to be a great show. The residency that he just did, the videos that I've seen, man, oh man, he had it going on in there, for real. He really had the visuals. He has this house that he performs on. I'm pretty sure the house will be in the Super Bowl because it's a historical representation and monument. So I could pretty much bet that house is going to be in that Super Bowl performance somewhere. Because he performed on top of it his entire show here. So it would only make sense. But the lights were crazy, smoke crazy, fire crazy. It was a wild clips that I saw. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see the response after he performs. And again, this is me being American who's now moved down to Puerto Rico and able to speak on the disparity and the difference. I'm able to speak on, why this person may feel this way as opposed to this person feeling this way, because I've had the experience of living both. So just trying to bridge the gap and help the two understand each other more is my goal here. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a good thing. I hope y'all, bear it down a little bit, my guys back in America. Trust me, it's gonna be a show you'll remember. He does a great job. I've just witnessed how he holds the people. He holds this island. He definitely is the number one guy out here, and the number one guy in a lot of other places. You'll be surprised, and the numbers speak for it. He's bigger than any American artist out here. I can say that. Any American artist comes out here, if you had to put two concerts, he gonna outsell every time. And I think that might be in other countries too. Even if you take the American artist and you take him and you try to sell him in other countries, he's